come together to receive the remains of the late uh, Cecilia Ogwal, MP of Dokolo, who passed on recently. As I speak right now, you can see how busy the highway is right now at the moment. A number of people have actually staged out to receive the remains, and of course, others are actually inside, all settled because of, and then, of course, Antidokolo. That's a tentative program after this. With the way things happening right now, we expect the body to be coming into the city center at the moment, and of course you can see some of the messages that are being printed on these manilas by the people. This one says, "Honorable Attack Cecilia, rest in glory. Amen." Who have attacked Cecilia, your words are still fresh to us. Trust me. Attack Cecilia, a loud voice gone silent. Journey well, to rest in peace. Actually, these are some of the updates here. Of course, as you can observe, the vehicles coming right from in front there, and of course, heading the opposite side. There is a lot of traffic jam. Some of the leaders here trying to see what they can do, and of course, the security, the police have actually manned all this highway to ensure that the flow of traffic is actually going well, and nothing should actually go wrong. That's actually why the security is actually here. You can observe right in front there, that's the DPC trying to uh, engage his colleagues to ensure that all actually goes well. City is so packed, traffic jam is actually observed at almost every corner of the highway.
Foremost, I want to condone with bereaved family. I also want to condone with Lani as a tribe in the north, and also Uganda as a country. I would refer to Cecilia, Toto Cecilia, as a voice of the voiceless. I would refer to her as my role model. In her, I saw a great leader. In her, I saw consistency. In her, I saw efficiency. In Cecilia, I saw unity and love. She loved everybody and she loved to nurture and give selfless advice to the young politicians. I would see her as somebody who was so passionate about the girl child, and she would give advice at all times when you approached her. So she was one of those that you could easily interact with, regardless of your political party, regardless of your age. And we really dearly miss Toto. Personally, in my family, that song Cecilia, whenever they play it, they remind us about Cecilia, the Honorable Member of Parliament. Cecilia, may your humble soul rest in peace. Um, she would always remind people about social, political, economic aspects in life. Politically, she says yes, you only use it to ascend to a place. But once you're there, you use that position to speak for those voices that are quiet. Socially, she would always make sure that she loved services delivered to the people. she would always advocate for her community, but her community reflected the entire Uganda because whatever resolution was passed through her initiative would benefit all of us. So at the end of the day, resilience in lobbying and advocacy. Cecilia is one person who would go for what she wanted. And personal, I think I pick that one in her. I don't get intimidated easily. As long as I know I'm going for a right course, she told me this, that even if it meant telling a word to the appointing authority, she would do it if it benefits her people. She would do it if it benefits her community and Uganda as a whole. So quite a lot to be talked about this lady. And we are missing her. We miss her a lot. How would I describe Cecilia? We've known people being sick and ill, but I have been following parliamentary proceedings. She has never presented that ill personality. Like she's really very sick, very weak, not to do work. What do I emulate from this? I think we need to pick something from this lady. She worked to her death, and I appreciate her reward is in heaven. Thank you so much.
Honorable Cecilia Ogwal as a young man who used to go to follow senior leaders. When I used to follow those of Engineer Patrick Oboya Muriat, the late Honorable Peter Molo, I used to also follow Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, and we could go to areas where they could be speaking to young people. I used to go to Uganda House back then when they were still within Uganda House. I come to follow Cecilia Ogwal because of how she used to speak the truth to the power that be, how she was vocal and articulate and interested in the good governance of this country, and she wanted a better country than she's living it. I joined Parliament as a staff in the lead of opposition, where I served for 3 years as a senior policy analyst. And I was able to write technical and give technical support when Mam Imat Cecilia Ogwal was the chief opposition whip. I sat on budget committee, finance committee, and gave technical support to her and other members of parliament. And I resigned from parliament to come and contest for the second shot in 2015, and I didn't make it. And one of the people who gave me comfort and inspiration to not give up was Imat Cecilia Ogwal. 2021, I win the election, go back, and I worked around her. Working around her, I came to appreciate the mother, the mentorship, and the caliber of the person she was. And Uganda, we need to emulate Cecilia Ogwal. Leaders in Mother Teso, we need to think about how Cecilia Ogwal spoke passionately for the people of Uganda. How Cecilia Ogwal could not remain silent in the face of persecution of mothers, children who are dying young in healthy facilities. Cecilia Ogwal fought for Lango sub-region. The social interventions and the development and progress in Lango sub-region, you can't write off Cecilia Ogwal's contribution. And I want to challenge us as leaders. We learn and emulate Cecilia Ogwal. Cecilia Ogwal chose to criticize openly, frankly, and honestly. And I'm sure the President of the Republic of Uganda knows that one person he could not dare face and challenge when she has taken him on was Cecilia Ogwal. But she was opposition, but vocal and astute. And this is a caliber that I admire in her. She never went silent when her people were in pain and suffering. She stood out and spoke. And that's what I want to rally. We, the young leaders, must not be in our comforts of thinking since I'm earning, since I am okay, the rest don't matter. Cecilia Ogwal, never. Even when she left UPC, still vocal in FDC, she was able to still be respected and elected by her people. I am very sure that Cecilia Ogwal, if she lived to 2026, at her age, she would still win a constituency. That is the caliber of the person she had molded herself into. And taking responsibility of leadership at the young age, growing through the wings of the late Apollo Milton Obote, you appreciate that Honorable Cecilia Ogwal was brought up in a way that we think bringing up leadership is lacking in the current trend. The Rwakana Rugundas, the Letu Mutebire, the Cecilia Ogwal, those caliber of leaders are lacking today. And we must stand up and begin nurturing those leaders. If Teso, Lango, Acholi, Uganda will rise, we need to grow more of the Cecilia Ogwals. And I pray that young leaders, we emulate today as we receive our body. Let her body not depart from this ground, and we take nothing to emulate in her. If we should emulate our voice not to remain dead and die forever, we must speak out for the downtrodden and those who are suffering and the most oppressed in society.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank all the people of Soroti and Teso for having come here. My name is Paul Omen, the presidential envoy under the office of the president, the FDC president, Engineer Patrick Oboya Muriat. And I would like to say that this is where we are now. We are here very ready, waiting to receive the body of our mama, Imat Cecilia Ogwal, a team who has been a part of us when she was alive. She made Teso her home, and as a leader who really nurtured many people in Teso, and it was admiration as young population and young people who grew up liking our styles of leadership. And that's why we are gathered today here with the congregation of Soroti people and also people from outside Soroti who are waiting to receive the body here in the public gardens. And it is actually incidental that at the time when the late Milton Obote was brought from when he died, this is exactly again the time when Papa, the late Milton Obote, was received again here in the sports, in the public gardens, and this is an Independence Square. And here within us here all, we would like to call upon the public that as we pay the last respect in Teso here for those ones who may not be going to the call for the vigil tonight, in the evening, please, we are going to try to see whether we can be allowed to view her body here in the public gardens. And that's why you see right away that we are prepared and the people are waiting. The Reverend Tangiro, Canon Reverend Tangiro, is already waiting here and is actually the person again who received the body of late Papa Milton Obote. And today is a blessing again that he has come as a religious leader to wait for this body, to pay his last respect as a person who grew up at a time when Uganda was actually a country that cherished values of leaders. And I'd like to say that there are so many people here from all walks of life. And actually, we have all here former leaders of parliament from all walks of life, from NRM, from FDC, from UPC, right? We have to Winnie Adio, just having an interview with NBS Radio, and likewise with other leaders who are anticipating to be interviewed. And they are just right away from here in the pavilion here waiting for the body.
What do you remember about the late?
What I remember about the late is that the late, first of all, when she came here on March last year, that was 2003, when she came here, I remember her as being a person who was straight to her point. And actually, that is what I remember Cecilia Ogwal, a person who could not be able to mint her words. She would be able to say, whether it is a yes, it is a yes. Whether it's a no, it's a no. Whether it is to crack jokes, she cracks jokes with you. But when she means it, she was a monumental person. And she's a person who actually made many women actually to admire her inspiration in terms of how eloquency, how she has been in the parliament, how she has been actually receiving a kind of motivational speeches that she has been giving to the Parliament of Uganda. And actually, the way of inspiration of articulating matters that affect the communities and also Uganda as a whole. In matter, Cecilia was never for long alone. And that's the reason why Teso is waiting for her body.
So what should other leaders emulate or learn from her?
Now, what I want to other leaders to emulate from, that once you're a leader, you become a national leader. You don't become a leader for a particular tribe. You don't become a leader for a particular dialect. You don't become a leader for a particular ethnic group. You don't become a leader because you must be able to speak for only your clan, but you must be a leader who must be able to speak for the rest of citizens of Uganda. And that is why, actually, Mata Cecilia Ogwal happens to be one of the persons whom we must pay the last respect here. And we really pray that may her soul really get a quick repose, that she must be received with the angels, and she must be received in heaven with all the glory. And that's our prayer as young leaders who must be able to really emulate our ways of living when she has been a political leader. I remember her very well when she was in UPC at the time, when I was very young, when she stood in the principles while telling Apollo Milton about the late, also that any party must stand on values. And all parties must stand on values. If you are chosen to be in a party, you must not be able to deviate, but you must be able to stay in the values that must be anchored in order to better the citizens' life and also service delivery in that country. And that's why I remember very well the matter. And really, we miss her as Teso, we miss her as Uganda, but dearly, she must be, the people of Lango are really missing her at the time when actually we have been taking off in terms of development and when actually rebellion had just ceased in Lango.